Should profit be the only motive of business? We're going to answer that question in this video. Okay, let's rock. Let's talk about profit. Should that be the only motive of starting a business, having a business? My answer, absolutely not. Because if the only thing you're thinking about is money and profit, it's going to be really difficult to build a genuine business. And what I mean by that is people actually can see through crap, right? They can see if a business owner is only in it for the money. They can see it with their attitude. They can see it with how they deal with their customers, their customer service, et cetera, et cetera. So understanding that if you're coming from a place solely of profit, you're going to be climbing a huge uphill battle against all the people that have started a business for the love of the game. Because business is nothing but a game, right? You learn to try to master business, and if you're only in it for the money, you're going to struggle against the rest. And now here's why. My number one thing before starting a business, when I coach people and they say, well, what kind of a business should I start? What do you think I should get into? Is something that they're passionate about. If you remember in some of the early videos, we talked about the 5 pillars to building a solid base for your business, a solid foundation, and helping you, go through the struggles and get through it long term. The number one thing I always preach is be passionate. Be passionate about what you like. And, that's contrary to what some people think. They say, a lot of times people get into passionate businesses and they don't understand how to make money and they go out of business because they don't understand the business aspect. Well, I'm here to teach you the business aspect, right? That you've actually got to do a lot of different things to survive in business, but I want you to be passionate about it. So if you get into it for the love of the game, let's make an example. My very first business I got into was trading cards. Sports cards, like baseball cards, football, basketball, hockey. I was into all those sports cards. So I got into them as a kid in the late 80s. And in the early 90s, I started working for my very first baseball card shop in like 1991. Okay? And I did it because I absolutely loved it. And when I worked for that shop, I'll never forget, I think I was making like $4 an hour, okay? And I didn't care, but I remember working there every day thinking, gosh, I'm like ripping this guy off. And I know you might laugh at that, but think about what was coming in, through my head, and why I felt like that was because I loved it so much that I couldn't believe I was being paid money to do something that I probably would have done for free just because I loved it so much. Just the simple fact that man gave me the opportunity to work at his baseball card shop and started showing me the ropes. I became his apprentice. He taught me like how to buy and sell cards. We would travel and go to conventions and things like that. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have been in the business. So the whole time I'm thinking, wow, I'm getting a sweet deal here. I'm making a whopping $4 an hour and I'm doing something that I absolutely love. And so I was able to go to work every day happily. I never missed work. I never called in sick. I always showed up early. I wanted to be there. I unlocked the store most of the time. I locked it half the time, It was just me and the owner, and we traveled and ran the shop ourselves. And this person to this day is very special to me. And so understanding that if you're getting into a business and you're only getting into it for profit, just to make money, you're going to be competing against individuals like my young self that are basically in their minds willing to work for free to make their business succeed. And because they love it so much, they're willing to work long hours, longer hours that you might be willing to work. Because if you're not passionate about this business and you're only strictly into it for the money, you're probably going to put in the minimum and you're probably going to get bored of it. You're probably not going to like it if it doesn't start making money soon and not giving it enough time. Where a business owner that loves what they do and loves their business is willing to give it years upon years upon years. I know people that have had businesses for 7+ years. A lot of them are stay-at-home businesses and they're not making much, but they're still working hard to try to build it. When I say not make much, they're making money, but nothing compared to what they could make, say, working for somebody else, given like the hourly pay, something like that. But they do get that perk of being able to create their own hours and do things at their own will and create their own systems and processes and how they want things done and carry the products they want, and do the things they want to do it. That's worth it. That to them is worth the trade-off. And they're still trying to make more money and things like that. But going back to profit, the number one goal in business, and this is where like the conundrum is, right? This is like the paradox of the universe, right? The number one goal of business is to make money. I mean, that truly shouldn't be argued that much. I mean, again, some people get into business because of impact, because they want to serve the community. They want to see how much they can do in this world with their business, right? There's people that do that. And then you have people that start nonprofits, right? And here's what you need to understand about a nonprofit. This is very important. When I was younger, I literally thought a nonprofit was just a charity that didn't make any money, that they would just get a bunch of donations and 100% of what they got in, they would give out to the charity. That's so far from the truth. And as I learned, I was a little bit disappointed because some of the charities I'd give to, I would have to find out, I'm like, wait, what do you mean administrative costs? What do you mean you have like people that you pay? You know, I thought a nonprofit was like all volunteers and things like that. So I was like, oh, people do that for charity and out of the goodness of their heart. And then I find out some of the biggest companies in this country, in the United States, are nonprofits. They do millions of dollars a year in revenue. I think there's some even in the billions. And some of them make millions of dollars of profit. And they've got employees and, you know, they've got expenses and all this stuff. I mean, I couldn't believe it. But the difference between a nonprofit and a for-profit company, really like a nonprofit and a profit company, is that the nonprofit has more of like the fundamentals they set up is more to serve, more to help, more for charity, right? They're creating like a great cause. So you see a lot of non-for-profits that might be like Feeding America, right? Here in Kansas City, we have one called Harvesters, right? You know, it's a non-profit, right? So the goal of that company is to feed a lot of the homeless and a lot of the people that are starving in Kansas City. Great cause. I'm a huge supporter of it. I love that cause. But understand that they're getting in donations. They've got costs. They've actually got a gigantic warehouse. There's a lot of people. I'm sure they get volunteers too. But in that non-for-profit, they're allowed to make money. So understand that. So some people start nonprofits with the goal for profit. But again, it all comes down to the roots, the grassroots. It comes down to, do you love what you do? Are you passionate about that cause? If it's a non-for-profit that you're like, I'm going to die doing this. I'm not going to stop until I accomplish this mission. If you're mission driven and you're going for that, you are going to crush everybody else simply by your drive. Because you're going to put in hours that they don't want to put in because you love what you do and you love your cause. You're motivated. You're so committed to that cause. So the short answer, should profit be the only motive of business? My answer is no. Do not let that be the only motivator. But let it be a motivator because as we know, when we make more money, we can have the finer things in life, enjoy nice vacations, maybe spend more time with our family, have a bigger house, a nicer car, whatever. Nothing wrong with it. So don't let that make you feel like, oh my gosh, I can't shoot for the stars and try to make a bunch of money. There's nothing wrong with that. Again, just make sure you're passionate about it. Okay, everybody, I hope this helped you out. I hope you liked it. If you did, please click the like button. And don't forget to give me your comments. I'd love to hear what you thought about the video and any other suggestions you might have. And again, don't forget to subscribe. I'd like to keep delivering videos to you, so click that subscribe button below. And remember, in life and in business, it's never easy for anybody. No matter how hard you have to try, keep working. Never give up because everybody in business has gone through tough times. And remember, take it from me, push hard, keep pushing, and be the hustler.